Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, silver shamrock.
All right, so the other day we covered Halloween 1 and 2. We are now covering the black sheep, the standoffish one of every other Halloween movie, Halloween 3. So kind of like we did the other day, we're gonna go back to the year that this came out, which was 1982, and like Clue with Halloween 2. Michael Myers' story was done, right, Santino? He was dead. He got blown up and he burned up. Michael and Laurie's story was done, and now it was time. They decided, Carpenter and the studio decided, they were going to go in a anthology direction. They were going to try something new with the series and tell a different type of story. And I'm not going to lie, I love Halloween 3. I think this is a great movie. What do you think?
What did I think of Halloween 3? I actually really enjoyed it. I almost, after watching this, imagined a different world where Carpenter actually got to make different Halloween movies other than this one after. It probably would have been awesome, but of course people wanted more Michael Myers. It's like, all right, well, I think this is a situation where I'm gonna use an example which I've always used in the past, the Bourne situation, where after the Bourne Ultimatum, Matt Damon's character story was done, so they wanted to go in an anthology direction, which was the Bourne Legacy with Jeremy Renner, and a whole new story, a whole new type of characters. But it sucked because the studio wanted Jason Bourne back, but his story was done, so why would you want Jason Bourne back anyway? And I love these anthology types of stories because it shows us a different world, and I did like the plot going on in Season of the Witch. I really did, actually. I thought it was a great, intriguing mystery instead of a usual slasher type of story.
Yeah, and I mean, for a series called Halloween, it makes sense. It was a perfect setup for, like you said, what could have been a great anthology series going forward, following the story of Michael Myers and Laurie Strode, of terrifying things that take place on Halloween. And this was a completely different type of horror genre. It was still horror, but it was not a slasher. This was now like science fiction and fantasy witchcraft, basically.
Yeah.
And I thought the plot was actually really cool, going back to like the roots of Halloween with Samhain and sacrifices and children and animals being killed for the sacrificial purposes. And the character of Conal Cochran, I thought it was genius what he was playing. I mean, I don't condone it. I mean, I don't agree with it, obviously. But it's like his plan was genius. It was using the commercialization of Halloween, and it was what's a new way I can find to appease the gods of Samhain, or however it was, and using the commercialization of, kids, make sure you buy the masks. Parents, buy these for your kids. Kids, make sure at this time you're watching television. It was a really cool thing for the time, almost like if they were going to almost remake this now, instead of the commercial being on TV, it would be on your smart, log on to this YouTube channel at this time, see if you're the winner, and it would wipe out all the kids, because kids love being on their phones now as much as they used to love watching television.
His plot reminded me of Valentine's plot in Kingsman. When I first saw it, I was like, okay, so the masks are gonna. I didn't know what was gonna happen. I went in blind, so I thought the masks were gonna like attach themselves to the kids and mind control the kids to kill their parents or something like that, or kill themselves.
So what did you think when you saw what happened to that one kid?
When it killed the kids through bugs, I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
He falls down and all those like roaches and snakes start coming out of his head. It was like, oh my god.
How does it even work? Is it magic?
Yeah. Well, don't forget, they had one of the stones from Stonehenge, and they were basically extracting like the dark magic from it.
Okay.
And then planting it in the chips on each mask.
Okay, so like they found this specific. again, it's like
Don't forget, Conal Cochran was a warlock. He knew
right.
how to control magic. Don't forget, and he
Right.
was infusing magic with technology.
Oh yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah,
That's
I
kind
mean, this was something that was like, to me, this was so almost ahead of its time. I feel like.
yeah, it feels like honestly, I did like the plot. I did like the drunk doctor as the main character and all that, and you know, I appreciate the studio for doing something different. You know, I always appreciate when there's creativity, like I mentioned in Friday the 13th, where after part 6 they realized they can just have Jason kill kids anymore in Camp Crystal Lake all the time. So we're gonna make it different each time he does it. So part 7, hey, let's face up against a telekinetic girl. Part 8, let's put him in space. Was it sorry that was in space? Part 8, let's put him in New York. Part 9, let's make him a extraterrestrial demon. Part Jason X, let's put him in space. And let's make him fight Freddy Krueger. Basically, it's a lot of different. At least they're doing something different. It's not like the same rehashed shit over and over again. Star Wars sequels. Sorry, but like at least you know with this one, Halloween 3, I can see like okay, instead of a slasher, we're going for a mystery. It's basically the unraveling of a thread of like what's going on here. How is this happening? How is this like coming to fruition? And I did like where they were where they were going for that. I really did. So overall, I thought it was a good movie, and the kills were nice. I think the best kill, like the one that's ingrained in my mind, is the mask killing the kid. Like poor guy, you know. Like,
What about that? What about that lady in the hospital who got her face zapped
yeah,
open or whatever?
like I mean, you mean the lady in hospital with the drill? I was like, okay, that's a. Or you meant the
Oh
other
wait,
one?
no, I meant the hotel, not the hospital. Yeah, it's juxtaposed to this lady getting her face blasted open, and next door the doctor's banging some chick who's like 20 years younger than he is.
That was such a weird
That
romance.
was so random, but it's like, I'm not gonna lie, I thought she was damn cute. I thought Stacey Nelkin as Ellie.
Yeah, I'm not contesting that. I'm just saying that.
No, it
Wow.
was hilarious because it's like this guy's like old enough to be like your dad almost. But yeah, so yeah, it's hard to describe this one because it's like I see so many fans out there always say they're just like it shouldn't even be. They were like, now it shouldn't even be called Halloween 3. I'm like, that's not fair though to derive this movie of its title when again, back in 1982 when this came out, Michael and Laurie's story was done. They were trying something new. It was only in Halloween 4 when they decided, okay, no, we have to have Michael, which better or worse, whatever. But it's like, no, I don't think that's fair to Halloween 3 that people should say Halloween should be taken off the title just because
Yeah,
it doesn't have Michael Myers. No, that'd be like saying Friday the 13th Part 5 and Part 1 just because they didn't have Jason in it shouldn't be called Friday the 13th. It's like, no,
exactly.
no, 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 no. They were doing something at the time, and that's just history. You can't change history just because it doesn't line up with everything else the way you like it to be.
Yeah, it's also in the sense that uh it is still on Halloween night, and
Yeah.
the events still happen, and the villain was pretty good. I like it, and his plan was great. Um, and I, and it's like again, I'm mentioning the Bourne situation where you can have a different character with the Bourne name just set in the same universe. Like they even allude to the fact that it is kind of in the same universe because Halloween, the original, plays on TVs.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So like I don't see what's wrong with that at all. I mean like at least John Carpenter was trying to do something else, you know, other than just the slasher genre.
Exactly. And it's like that's why I've got mad respect for this movie. And it's like thankfully we're at the point where at least within the community I've seen a lot of people who it's like some people still complain I don't like it because it doesn't have Michael, but it seems like the majority of people at this point they don't really cling to that anymore. At least for the people who don't like it. The people who don't like it now, at least for the most part, can back it up with reasons of the story, what they don't like about the story. I've seen reviews of people who have just completely trashed this film to hell and back, and it's like I disagree with most of the points, but to each their own. I'm not. When it comes to horror, it's all subjective. It's all how you feel about it, what works for you, what doesn't. I mean, we saw it when we did our Friday the 13th. When we did our rankings, they were ours were completely different from each other. So it's just for what works for you for a story. Um,
Exactly.
oh, so what? Another thing that I think that really stands out about this movie is it's like so in the first one, it's like people like I know so many people who have the Michael Myers mask. I have one actually. I have the one from Halloween 2. Um, I am shocked that I've never seen more people have the skull, the pumpkin, and the witch mask. I think those all three of those masks I think looked incredible, and I would honestly love to have one of each.
Yeah. Yeah, that stupid jingle though really,
Oh
really
my
hit.
God, yes, tell me about the jingle. Tell,
It's
tell.
stuck in my head. I could not get it out of my head the first time I watched it. Ah, dude.
I was gonna say I completely forgot about that for a minute. I wanted this. So you are not a fan of the Silver Shamrock
I
commercial.
fucking hate it. It is so bad.
So okay, so you didn't like the Silver Shamrock commercial. You're in the majority on that one. I don't know many people who actually like it. But when it comes to the score for the rest of the film, what did you think of that?
But sorry, what were you saying?
The score for the rest of the film.
Oh yeah, the score was pretty good. I like the score.
Dude, I loved that intro because I love it. So far, all three of these intros have just been like, I loved it. The first one, simple with the pumpkin. The second one, simple with the pumpkin, but they stepped it up. And this one, again, another pumpkin with another score from Carpenter, but this time like that. Since we're combining technology and witchcraft into one, they put it on a computer screen to like kind of like match what the movie was going for. Another
Right,
extremely creative decision I thought they made.
right. It's almost like in Halloween 2018 where they made the pumpkin inflatable instead of.
Yeah, where they played it backwards, where it had melted and it was like going backwards and it was going back to what it originally looked like.
Yeah.
hmm So basically, for anyone, I mean, everyone knows the story of this one. Uh, Dan Chalice trying to figure out the mystery, what's going on with Ellie's dad who got killed, what's going on at the factory, yada yada yada. Figured out, yeah, witchcraft, all that. Cochran goes over his plan like a stereotypical '80s Bond villain. Here's what I'm doing. You can't stop me. I'm gonna lock you in this room and leave you alone. Don't get away. I was like, that's like ripped right out of a Bond movie. It was cliche as
Yeah,
fuck.
like all you're missing is the laser that slowly goes towards the.
Exactly, but no, we had the commercial. Which real quick, that was a shot that I did like when they were playing the jingle was when they were showing all the different towns across the United States.
Yeah, although
Everyone
that's
trick or treating while it was playing.
yeah. Because like like these kids are in danger.
Yeah, you're
They,
like watching all of these kids who are basically like enjoying the last few hours of existence before they all get wiped out.
yeah, it's like it's almost like Thanos, like like you show like across the universe, everyone's going like turning to dust, like oh shit.
Yep. So, one of the biggest mysteries that kind of even I have not figured it out yet, and it seems to be one of those things that is really contested amongst a lot of fans, but I want to know your opinion on it.
Yeah,
Was Ellie a robot the whole time, or do you think she got replaced when she got captured and the real
I
Ellie got
I
killed?
I so think she got replaced when she got captured. I so think so.
And like the real Ellie got killed or is
I think
captured, like
I think my guess is like for me, Carpenter wanted to do a sequel to this. So like the real Ellie was like her answers were out there somewhere. And we would have probably seen it if this would have been a bigger success.
yeah, because if you think about it, watch it. As soon as Dan rescues Ellie, she never spoke again. And she spoke all the way up until that point. And all of the
Exactly.
robot assassins, none of them ever spoke the entire movie. So it's like, that's almost, but it's like I've seen a lot of fans debate. They're like, she was a robot the whole time, and it's like, yeah, but I think Dan would have figured it out when he was having sex with her. Maybe not. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that the real Ellie got captured and put somewhere else, or maybe even killed. But that Ellie was like an android.
Did that kind of take you by surprise when she suddenly turned in the car?
Because like she wasn't speaking anymore.
Mm-hmm. And then she just suddenly attacked him, and her arm got ripped off.
Yeah. And that ending was pretty shocking too. Like he's trying us up all the commercials, and then like that one that's still playing. Like, oh shit! So like there's a quarter of kids that are still gonna die.
And it's like it was those kids right in front of him too. So it's like he was about to witness those kids like 2 feet away from him drop dead. But it was almost like, just turn it off then. At least try and save these children. But it's like, I love that because it is such an ominous ending where it's like, did they turn it off at the last second or did they not? And I've actually heard that in the alternate, and there's like an alternate audio ending where as they start playing the credits, you hear kids screaming in the background, like basically proving that he did not succeed. And I'm like, what a dark, messed up ending that would have been. But I almost wish they would have gone with it though. Yeah. Because it's like when it comes to movies, there's really not many that have the balls to like have an extremely dark ending. So it's like whenever I see one that does, it's like my hat goes off to you because it's like, didn't think you'd have the balls to do it. Like for anyone out there who's seen The Mist, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I have seen The Mist. I know what you're talking about.
Yes, you know what I'm saying, with incredibly messed up dark ending. It's like, oh my God.
That actually made me depressed. Like in the sense, like, oh wow, and I when I watch like dark stuff like that, for example, when I watched Joker, when I watched Joker in cinemas, I had to like put on a comedy movie 2 hours after I watched it because it was that. Like I didn't do it with this because it was like it's not that dark where I have to clean my mind from it. But man, like if I heard those kids screaming in like the credits, I probably would have like, okay, I'm gonna watch.
I honestly, you know what? I'm like half and half. I'm half glad they didn't include it because then it's an ominous ending. Did he succeed or did he still fail after all the hard work he put in? But at the same time, I almost would have preferred it to have been there because then it would have been another thing that this movie could have always been remembered for, is having an incredibly dark, messed up ending. But hey, it is what it is, and we got the movie we got. But unfortunately, crowds back then did not agree. This movie made almost nothing. This movie made $14.4 million. And and the original Halloween made let me double check. The original Halloween made 60 to 70 million on a $300,000 budget. And Halloween 2 made 25.5 million. And then like that Halloween 3 just it didn't make anything. It only made 14.4 on a $2.5 million budget. So it's like the studio was like, and it's sad because it's like it only made 11 million less than Halloween 2, but it's like it's one of those things where I just wish the studio hadn't gotten cold feet and it kept going, but it's like,
even if they lost money, they have my respect.
They didn't lose any money. They just didn't make as much as they wanted.
Okay, yeah, fine, but at least they have my respect for at least trying to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought that. I love when studios at least, try to make something different with the story. It reminds me of like, Mission Impossible, where each adventure there's a different stunt or a different like cast of characters that are within Ethan Hunt's life.
Mm-hmm.
So like Jeremy Renner is like only in 2 of them. Rebecca Ferguson is in 2 of them. Simon Pegg's in 4. Ving Rhames is in all. But there's an interchanging cast of characters, but and new stories every time, And it's like this where it's like at least you're doing something different and you're trying to see what works with the audience, and you're gonna risk it, even though you're losing money. You're not playing it safe, which I do like.
Well, I've noticed in the end when you do try to take chances, it usually seems like it's down the line when those movies that took the chances, that's when they see respect after a long enough time where people are able to like step back and look at the overall picture and be like, same thing, same thing, same thing, same thing, same thing. Oh, something different. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And it's like, I love the fact that I know Halloween 3 is really starting to grow a cult following. It's another one of those movies that it seems every year it just gets more and more fans who start agreeing that they do like it, and that it is a worthy, it's a worthy part of the Halloween series, because you know what? That's what it was made as. That's what it is. That's what it's always going to be. It's always going to be Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, and 4 is when they chose to bring back Michael.
Yeah, and again, I don't mind it at all. I really, really don't. I really, this has my respect. That's what I say.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for at least doing something different and changing, at least going in a different direction, because we've done the slasher thing, and we're not doing a mystery thing. So you know, if I almost want to say, like, if parallel universe exists, if a parallel universe exists, I want to see a universe where Carpenter actually got to make an anthology series. Like, what's next? A ghost, haunted mansion, zombies, aliens? We don't know. But
well, if you want to see any of those, honestly, just watch some of his other movies that he's made. They Live, The Fog. I get what you're saying, but I'm saying if you want to see other ideas he could have had, go watch some of those, because those feel like they could have been anthology films right out of this. Carpenter is honestly such an amazing... I mean, Carpenter didn't direct this. This was Tommy Lee Wallace. But Carpenter still had a hand in it. And it's like, I've got such mad respect for like almost everything. I got mad respect for like everything Carpenter does. The guy is a genius, and he has my utmost respect.
Yeah, same here. I think that he was good. He was good. Sorry, he is good, and that he at least is doing something different. Going into this lore of like witchcraft and androids and bugs and snakes is really like, you know, it still brings fear, and it still fits within a Halloween theme. So is this movie bad to me? Like, no, I think it's in fact creative.
Mm-hmm.
How they scare people, because man, the shock factor where I had when I saw the bugs come out, like, oh shit, there's something really wrong here. I mean, that scared me, and I love Michael Myers, but studios out there, man, do something different, please.
Definitely.
Like,
so like I
like, what
go ahead.
do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? Like,
money.
Universal has money, right? Has the rights right now, right? So why don't you make a sequel to Season of the Witch? I want to see that. I want to see what happened to those kids. I want to see what happened to the android of, what's her name?
Ellie.
Yeah, Ellie. Like, is she alive? Like, do something, man. I don't know.
Hey, let's get something going. We'll send it to Blumhouse and Carpenter. Carpenter's still kicking it. Tommy Lee Wallace is still around. Who knows? I'd love that. I'd love to see Season of the Witch Part 2. That would be incredible.
Yeah, me also. I would want to see that. Like, did it actually kill kids?
Yeah, did it work, or did it go off the air? That's what I love about it. It's the same type of ominous ending that leaves it up to you, the exact same as the original Halloween did. It's in your imagination. You choose where the story goes next, because we stopped, but we did not completely finish it. So now it's up to you to finish it in your head, and it's like it's really cool. So, unfortunately, like I said, this movie did not go over well with fans. They didn't like it, didn't make anything, and so this basically shut Halloween down.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yep, 6 years. Yeah, it shut it down from 82, and then it was 88 with Halloween 4, which we'll get to on Sunday night, Halloween 4 and 5. But yeah, it's just sad. And then like that, it's like by the time we hit 1988, though, that's when it was like Freddy was in full swing, Jason was starting to wind down, and it's like you started out as one of the best horror films of all time, and then when I mean, I like Halloween 4. We'll see your thoughts when you get a chance to watch it. But it's like when you hit that and you start getting that high into numbers, you're just running with the crowd now. It's like, Michael, you're just part of the rest of them now. The specialness of your character is basically gone now.
Yeah, that's why that's honestly why I'm nervous of going into Halloween 4, 5, and 6 is because like man, he was so unique in Halloween 1 and 2, and it's like if the proper word I think would be cheapens. Like the movies would cheapen him further, but like I don't know. Maybe my opinion would be different when I see 4, 5, 6. Who knows?
I'd make predictions, but I don't want to I don't want to get biased on it, but so I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, Sunday we're tackling 4 and 5. Next Wednesday, we're gonna be doing both versions of 6.
So, yeah.
We're gonna be doing the producers and the theatrical cut. So that'll be interesting because it's rare I get to have a conversation with somebody discussing the differences between both versions. So that'll be fun. So guys, thanks for listening in tonight to our discussion on Halloween 3. What did you think of it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let us know below. And I'm Chad. I'm out of here.
Santino signing off. Bye guys.